In 1782, a French warship vanished without a trace near the Arctic Circle. No wreckage, no survivors, just gone. The only clue? Massive tentacle marks carved into nearby icebergs. So what really happened to the Britannia? Today, we're investigating the Kraken, the legendary sea monster that's terrorized sailors for centuries. But here's the thing. We keep finding evidence that something massive is still out there. Giant beaks washing up on beaches. Sonar readings of house-sized objects moving in the deep. Are we dealing with ancient myth or modern reality? For over 1,000 years, sailors have reported the same thing. A creature so massive it looks like an island. Until it moves. Scandinavian fishermen called it the Kraken, describing tentacles thick as ship masts and eyes like dinner plates glowing in the dark. But here's what's terrifying. These weren't just drunk sailors telling tall tales. Ship logs from different centuries, different countries, all describe identical encounters. Same tentacle patterns, same crushing sounds, same aftermath. Ships found floating empty, their hulls carved with sucker marks. Captain Erik Pontoppidan documented over 50 separate Kraken sightings in his 1753 Natural History of Norway. Independent witnesses from Britain, France, Portugal, and Denmark, all describing a creature with 8 massive arms that could wrap around entire ships. What are the odds that hundreds of independent witnesses across different cultures and centuries imagine the exact same monster? The mathematical probability is virtually zero. In 1857, scientists finally had proof that giant sea monsters were real. They found a colossal squid, and it was bigger than anyone imagined. 40-foot tentacles, eyes the size of dinner plates, hooks that could slice through steel. But here's the kicker. That was just a baby. Dr. Heather Braid, one of the world's leading squid experts, showed me something that made my blood run cold. She pulled out a beak, the only part of a squid that doesn't decompose. This beak came from a colossal squid that would dwarf anything we've ever found. We're talking 60 feet long, maybe bigger. The beak measures 49 millimeters across. Using established squid anatomy ratios, that suggests a creature with a mantle length of nearly 5 meters. Just the body, not including tentacles. Add the tentacles, and you're looking at something the length of a sperm whale. And we found this beak inside a sperm whale's stomach. That means somewhere in the deep ocean, there's a battle happening between titans we can barely comprehend. Antarctica, the most remote waters on Earth. In 2019, marine biologist Matt Mulrennan was using military-grade sonar when he detected something impossible. A biological signature the size of a blue whale, but moving like a squid. His team tracked it for 3 hours before it vanished into an underwater canyon so deep, our equipment couldn't follow. The sonar readings showed controlled, intelligent movement, not the random patterns of a whale or fish. This thing was hunting. Even scarier? Local Inuit legends from that exact region describe the Kalupilluit, tentacled giants that pull kayakers under the ice. Stories passed down for generations, describing creatures that match exactly what modern sonar is detecting. The Inuit describe them as having human-like intelligence, but octopus-like bodies. They say the Kalupilluit can mimic the sounds of drowning humans to lure rescuers close enough to grab. Now imagine that level of intelligence in a creature the size of a school bus. Let's talk numbers. To drag a 17th century warship underwater, you'd need about 400,000 kilograms of force. That sounds impossible until you realize a colossal squid's tentacles can generate pressure equivalent to a hydraulic press. Each sucker on a colossal squid's tentacle can create 340 pounds of suction force. A single tentacle has over 100 suckers. That's 34,000 pounds of gripping power per tentacle. Multiply that by 8 tentacles, and you're looking at 272,000 pounds of force. More than enough to crush a wooden ship's hull. But the real question isn't whether they're strong enough. It's whether they're aggressive enough. Giant squids are ambush predators. They hunt by staying perfectly still in the dark, then striking faster than a human can blink. Now, imagine something 3 times larger using that same strategy on a ship. The attack would be over before the crew even realized what was happening. The scariest part, we've never recorded a living colossal squid in its natural habitat. Every specimen we found was either dead or dying at the surface. We literally have no idea how they behave when they're healthy and hunting. 95% of our ocean remains unexplored. We know more about the surface of Mars than our own seafloor. And in that vast darkness, things are evolving without sunlight, without limits, without us ever knowing they exist. Gigantism is a common evolutionary response to deep-sea conditions. The giant isopod, deep-sea gigantism in arthropods, massive tube worms. The abyss breeds monsters. Why would cephalopods be any different? In 2020, a deep-sea camera captured something that shouldn't exist. Tentacles thicker than tree trunks moving past the lens. The footage lasted exactly 3.7 seconds before the camera went dark. Was it malfunction? Or did something deliberately destroy the equipment? The footage was so brief, so unclear, that the scientific community refuses to officially recognize it. But the timestamp shows it was recorded at 11,000 feet down, in waters no human has ever visited. The Mariana Trench. The creature that created the Kraken legend might not be extinct. It might just be deeper than we've ever looked. Last year, a cargo ship reported mechanical failure 200 miles off Nova Scotia. When rescue teams arrived, they found the hull covered in perfectly circular marks, each one 18 inches across, sucker marks. The crew swore something had grabbed their ship from below, describing a sensation like being lifted and then dropped. Security footage from the ship's hull cameras showed massive shadows moving beneath the vessel. But the footage was immediately classified by maritime authorities. Maritime authorities classified it as equipment malfunction. Because officially, nothing in the ocean can do that to a modern steel vessel. The MV Stellar Dawn incident in 2018, the fishing vessel Nordic Pearl in 2020, all reported similar encounters. All had their reports buried in bureaucratic red tape. The insurance companies know something's up. Premiums for deep-sea vessels have quietly tripled in the last 5 years. When I asked why, they cited increased frequency of unexplained hull damage in remote waters. Here's what really bothers me. The military knows more than they're saying. In 1997, NOAA recorded the bloop, an ultra-low frequency sound louder than any known biological source. They later claimed it was ice movement, but acoustic experts disagree. The sound pattern matches the frequency range that large cephalopods use to communicate, just scaled up by a factor of 10. The bloop was detected by sensors over 3,000 miles apart. Whatever made that sound was massive enough to be heard across an entire ocean basin. Military sonar operators I've spoken to, off the record, describe contacts that move too fast and too intelligently to be whales, but too large to be anything else we know about. The Kraken might be the most documented mythical creature in human history. Thousands of sightings across centuries. Maybe the real question isn't whether the Kraken exists. It's whether we're ready to admit something that massive and intelligent is sharing our planet. Something that's been here long before humans ever built ships. Something that might view us not as explorers, but as intruders in its domain. The ocean keeps its secrets well. But every year, those secrets get a little harder to hide. Speaking of secrets, the ocean won't give up. Wait until you see what military submarines have been recording in the deepest ocean trenches. Footage so disturbing that it's been classified for over 20 years. This next video will change how you think about what's really down there.